This is Minitoon, a small-time Roblox developer who started off making SCP games, but little did he know that one day when he stepped into Roblox Studio, he will create one of the biggest Roblox series Roblox has ever seen. And we're going to be ranking those games today, and what better way to do it than with an old-fashioned tier list.
It was perfect.
We've got God tier, excellent, good,
Nice,
meh, and then at the very bottom, trash. And let's just say, a few might be going in here. I'm looking at you, Piggy. You should expect a lot of brand new Piggy content over the next few weeks, because we're getting a new Piggy game, with at least a lot of teasers for a new Piggy game, and definitely a few updates to Piggy Intercity, which is very exciting. So I decided to get a bit into the groove again. Now keep in mind, these games aren't made by Minitoon, these are just fan-made games. Other than the fact Piggy's in this list itself, because I felt like it was only right to include Piggy, because without this, well, this list wouldn't be happening, and without it, none of these games would even exist. But let's just jump right into it, shall we? Starting off with the man, the myth, the pig, the myth, the legend, Piggy, and well, it's only right to put Piggy in God tier, isn't it? Because, well, it's one of my favourite Roblox games of all time, and also, well, we wouldn't have this whole franchise without Piggy. It started the franchise, it ended the franchise. This is the most important game. The magic thing about Piggy is that it's very unique in its own way. Sure, it got a lot of inspiration from like Granny and Peppa Pig and The Walking Dead, but it also goes off on its own path, and that's what's so good about it. It has its own storyline, it has its very own characters. Minitoon always does a very good introduction to all of the characters. He makes them feel very loving. At times in the storyline, we feel for the characters, like when Zizzy gets infected, when Willow and Tigry fight, we feel for Mr. P. We get angry at Dude Man because we just want to get the boss fight over. Especially Creek, who was up all night streaming for 8 hours trying to kill this guy.
what the heck, dude? What the heck is that?
And it's not even the characters, it's the gameplay as well. Like, the amount of emotion this game makes you feel, it's awesome. The mechanics are good. I know it's just opening doors and stuff, but in Book 2 we get introduced to a lot of different items we can get, like secret codes, secret passageways, a bunch of new items like the crowbar, and a lot of other cool stuff. This game is easily one of the greatest Roblox games of all time, and it's always going to have a very special place in my heart. Right, next, it's Kitty. So one thing you're probably going to notice about these Piggy clone games is that they're very similar, there's not much different from them at all. And Kitty's a bit different because it goes off on its own path. Sure, it's a Piggy clone and it's definitely got a lot of similar mechanics to Piggy, like you open doors and stuff. But it's also a bit of a Tom and Jerry vibe as well, because when you're the main player, you play as Jerry the mouse. And then when you're the killer, instead of being like a psycho-infected pig, you're actually a cat. So it is like Tom and Jerry. And instead of meeting new characters, you actually go into different worlds. So it's a lot different from other Piggy games. And you go into cartoon worlds, so for example, The Amazing World of Gumball, Rick and Morty. And a lot of people thought it was a pretty unique way of doing it. And it was, but it just personally wasn't my type of game. And I wouldn't play it again. The mechanics are okay, but I also didn't really like the atmosphere and ambience. I didn't really like the models design. I know it was going for more of a 3D design, which is fine, and a lot of people like this game, but personally, it's just not for me, and I wouldn't play it again. I know Thick Noodles really liked it, but this is my tier list, and it's not for me, so it's going in meh. It's not an awful game, but I'd never play it again. Next up, Puppet. Oh boy, where do I even begin with this one? As you can tell by the title and thumbnail, this is a complete rip-off of not only Piggy, but also Sesame Street. It's Elmo and Cookie Monster.
Cowabunga!
Now that might not sound too bad to the average person who's never played this game before, or hasn't even heard of it before. And honestly, I won't blame you, because most of Piggy games, even Piggy itself, are all rip-offs. A bit like, well, obviously Piggy's Peppa Pig, but the thing about Puppet is that it does not change anything. At least with Piggy, It changes all the names. It changes the storyline. Puppet, not at all. It doesn't change the names. Obviously, the main villain is Elmo and Cookie Monster. Nope, doesn't change the names. And what's going to happen when you steal a company's brand and don't change the names or anything like that? That's right, a lawsuit.
I'd better call Saul.
So this caused a whole lot of drama. All of the Elmo fans were just swarming in, flooding in, telling them to delete the game right now, or they'll unleash Cookie Monster on them. But ladies and gentlemen, it gets worse. Because not only did they rip off Sesame Street, but they also completely ripped off Piggy. In Piggy, Book 1, the first map is the house. Guess what the first map in Puppet is? The house. They stole that. Now that might not sound too bad, because obviously most Piggy games start with the house. So move on. Chapter 2, the station. Guess what the Chapter 2 in Puppet is? The station. So they also stole that from Piggy as well. Then we move on to Chapter 3, because come on, it can't be that bad. In Piggy, Chapter 3, it's a forest. So try and guess what the next chapter in Puppet is. That's right, the forest. They completely ripped it off. And it was only until Chapter 4 when they decided to change it. They were like, wait a minute, this is exactly like the other Piggy game. Or no, we need to quickly change it before anyone realises. But it's kind of obvious. And it became so bad that Creepcraft himself even made a video on it. And he wasn't too happy.
I hate games where you can respawn when it's a round-based game like this. Like, it defeats the entire purpose. Like, if I get you, that's it, you're done, you know? Like, there is no respawn button. Gosh darn it, dude. Oh, man. I was actually kind of liking this game. And then there's a respawn button. It makes it too easy, you know? It's not like, it removes all the consequences from actually getting caught, which really stinks. Look at these guys. They're just all respawning. Like, what is the point? Like, there's no point in being the bad guy if the good guys just respawn as soon as you get them. Like, gosh darn it, dude.
And eventually, about a month or two later, Roblox stepped in and completely wiped the game out. It got terminated. The game is actually back up now because the developer changed everything, so it's not Sesame Street. It's still got the same chapters that they stole from Piggy, but obviously it's not Elmo anymore. It's like this weird, goofy looking guy. But we do have to respect the developer for still being bothered to update it, even though we did completely steal everything. I mean, I don't think there was one unique thing about that game. It wasn't completely bad. Like, it wasn't completely pay to win, but at the same time, it wasn't very fun. So I'll just put it in there. Next up, Bacon. The story of this game is instead of a pig or Elmo or a cat, it's a bacon hare, obviously, as you can tell by the title. And this game is very similar to Piggy. You have to find a cure and stuff like that for your friend Bacon who goes to your same school. You end up meeting like Fisherman Pete or Fisherman Steve. And the chapters are very different. One of the things I like about this game is that there's different skins. I'm sorry if you keep on hearing like a window XP noise. It's just my mouse. It keeps on doing that for some reason, but I'm getting a new one, so don't worry. Anyways, yeah, the skins is probably my favourite thing about the game because you could have your very own YouTuber skin. And I remember the first time I got the Thick Noodle skin. It felt so special. I felt so cool having it because it was pretty rare at the time. Now that I look back though, I just think to myself, it really wasn't that cool. And this game was very underrated, and it did have a few controversies, like the mechanics weren't that good and stuff. But honestly, I had instead of a really soft spot for this game, and I've always loved it. It actually started celebrating its 4th year anniversary, which is insane. I can't believe I've been playing this game for 4 years. It's mad.